Hey Sugar Geeks, Liz here. Today I'm going to show you how to make your very own pastry cream right at home. What is pastry cream? It's only the most delicious thing you could possibly make and a staple in most professional bakeries and home bakeries alike. Pastry cream can be used in so many things, from fruit tarts to fillings as donuts, all kinds of different types of pastries, pies. Technically, it's like a vanilla pudding. It's super simple to make. Don't be intimidated. I'm going to show you how to make it coming up next on the Sugar Geek Show. All right, so to make pastry cream, you don't really need a lot of skills, but you do need a whisk and you need to bring your muscles because you're going to be doing a lot of whisking. I'm a chronic milk boiler. I tend to get distracted and walk away and just think, oh, I'll just leave it cooking for just a second. Don't do that. You must attend to your pastry cream. So a little bit of patience is in order, but I promise it's not hard. We're gonna add our milk. You could use almond milk, or you could use soy milk. You could use coconut milk, not coconut cream, but coconut milk. And you would get the same result. So that's kind of cool. And then we're gonna take our first quantity of sugar, the one that's listed first in the recipe card. Save the other sugar for later. And we're gonna bring this to a simmer. And we're gonna stir so that it doesn't boil over. My heat is on medium high right now because I want to bring this up to temperature to where it's simmering pretty quickly, but you must whisk so you don't burn the milk. That tastes nasty. While this is coming up to temperature, I'm watching it, I am going to take my second quantity of sugar and add in my cornstarch, my egg yolks, my extra egg, and my vanilla bean. And then just kind of mix that up. It's going to be kind of a weird consistency. Don't worry about it. The cornstarch is just kind of added insurance to make sure our pastry cream is thick enough to use. Traditional pastry cream does not have cornstarch in it, but I want you guys to have success, so this is a little backup. So whisk, make sure that doesn't burn. Ooh, you can see all those beautiful vanilla beans. It looks so pretty. This needs to be in a bigger bowl. You'll see why in a little bit. Leave your butter over here. Don't use it yet. Ooh, I see steam starting to come together. I have a little heat-proof measuring cup here. You could also use like a plastic measuring cup or something that's not gonna melt. And what we're gonna do, as soon as this comes to a simmer, we're gonna take a little bit of that hot milk and we're gonna add it into our egg mixture and then whisk vigorously. And this is called tempering. It's similar to like tempering chocolate. And basically what we're doing is we are trying to heat up these egg yolks slowly so that they start to thicken, but they don't actually become cooked. If I were to take all this milk, add it into the eggs, it would immediately curdle them, and then you have scrambled eggs and milk. Not what we're going for. So we're going to take a little bit of the milk, add it into our egg mixture, and it's going to slowly start heating it up. And then we'll add everything all back together and begin whisking it until it thickens. And that's how you make pastry cream without egg curdles in it. So you might be feeling stressed about how long it's taking for your milk to come to a simmer. It can take, like 5 to 10 minutes. So just don't rush it. Just know that in your mind that it's going to take a couple minutes, and just keep whisking, just keep whisking. All right, that's starting to simmer. I'm going to turn off the heat for right now. I'm going to bring my egg yolk mixture over. I'm going to scoop out some of this milk, and then I'm just going to start adding it in while I'm whisking. So you just add like a little bit. Just get it a little bit loose, loosey-goosey. So now we have nice, loose, tempered mixture. So I did about 3 scoops. Now we can bring this back over. We're gonna turn it back on. This time only on medium. And now we can start adding all of this back into here. Whisking, of course. And now all we have to do is just mix this until it starts to thicken. You can see this is starting to get thicker. I can feel it. I can feel it starting to get more viscous. Almost there. Now you want it to actually start bubbling again. That's going to make sure that the cornstarch gets cooked. Once it starts bubbling, we're going to cook it for 1 minute and then we're going to be done. And look at the timer. Whisking, whisking, whisking. 1 minute never felt so long. It's funny, the first time I made pastry cream in pastry school, I did not like it. I thought it smelled too much like eggs, and it and like hot milk has a weird smell to it, and I wasn't a fan. And it's funny because over the years, as I've baked more, I actually really like it now. And I don't know if it's just because you get used to what scratch tastes like, you know, like when you're just used to eating canned food and boxed food. Nothing wrong with that. That's how I grew up. But as I've started making more and more things from scratch, I don't know what happened, but now I like pastry cream. Okay, it's been a minute. I'm gonna take this off the heat. All right, hard part's over. I'll wash out my bowl. All right, let's talk troubleshooting here. If for some reason you manage to make scrambled eggs instead of pastry cream, you can still save it. You can strain your pastry cream through a strainer and get any hard lumps of egg out and still salvage it. So do not toss your pastry cream even if you think you've ruined it, you can still use it. All right, so now I'm going to pour my pastry cream, oh my goodness, looks delicious, into a bowl. Heat-proof bowl, of course. Little hot tip, if your glass bowl is cold, run it under some warm water before you add hot pastry cream into it. Otherwise, the temperature difference could make it shatter. That would not be good. So, pastry cream is very hot right now. It needs to chill before we can use it for anything. It does like to form a skin on top. So I learned in pastry school, you take some butter and you put that on top and it melts. And that butter forms a protective barrier over the top of the pastry cream. Why you can't just take plastic wrap and put it against there, I don't know. But this is the way that I learned. So this is the way that I do it. And now I'm teaching you to do it that way. All right, so now I'm gonna just set this aside. I'm not gonna cover it. I'm not gonna do anything. I am just gonna let it cool down until it's just warm to the touch, and then I'm gonna stir the butter in. And the reason we do this is because we want the butter and the pastry cream to become one. If I stir it right now, it's going to separate into an oily mess. So you wanna wait till it's basically cooled down and then stir it together. It's kind of like making modeling chocolate, making an emulsion of things that are liquid-based and fat-based, and we use temperature to make them come together. So, bacon is science. All right, our pastry cream has cooled down. I can tell that it's ready to stir because the butter around the edges is actually starting to set. It's not totally cold, but it's starting to set, and the bottom of the bowl is still just barely warm. So this is the perfect time to stir. Looks very gelatinous at first. So you might get to this stage and think, uh-oh, I ruined it. But trust me, it looks normal. Now I'm gonna whisk. As you can see, it just all comes together Nice and smooth. Look at that, beautiful. And honestly, you should taste it now. God, that's so good. It's like the best vanilla pudding you've ever had. And it kind of tastes like creme brulee. Still slightly warm, but oh my gosh, that vanilla bean really takes it up a notch and makes it so delicious. And since the vanilla is the main flavor of pastry cream, it's worth it to use it in this, because you could just use regular vanilla extract, but the better the vanilla you use, the better it's gonna taste. If you want to take it up a notch, you can use an immersion blender to make it super creamy. Now our pastry cream is perfect. Look at how smooth that is now. Beautiful. All right, let's talk about storing our pastry cream. You want to take some plastic wrap, press that up against the surface so it doesn't develop that skin. You cannot freeze pastry cream. It will just look really gross and not smooth when it defrosts. You can, however, keep it in the fridge for up to a week. So motivation to use it. If you simply cannot make a tart or anything like that, just pour it into a bowl and put some fresh berries and whipped cream on top, and you will have the most amazing, super simple dessert ever. You will not regret it. So that's it, guys. That's how you make your very own pastry cream from scratch. You see how easy it was? No need to buy a box of vanilla pudding ever again. I'm Liz Merrick, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.